Hello, you're tuning into the English News Bulletin here on VTV International for updates on the news here in Vietnam. In the following, we'll take a look at the headlines for this hour. The nation marks the 124th birthday of late President Ho Chi Minh. And later on, May 18th, today is declared National Science and Technology Day. On to the top news here in the bulletin. A delegation from the party, State National Assembly, and Vietnam Fatherland Front gathered at the President Ho Chi Minh's mausoleum today to lay a wreath in honor of the late leader. Prominent at the ceremony marking President Ho Chi Minh's 124th birthday were Party General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng, State President Trương Tấn Sang, Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng, and National Assembly Chairman Nguyễn Sinh Hùng. Delegations of officials from the Ministry of Defense, the Ministry of Public Security, and People's Council of Hanoi, as well as other ministries, agencies, and individuals also visited the Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum. They showed their deep respect and gratitude to President Ho Chi Minh for his great contribution to the national revolutionary cause. Now, a number of activities to celebrate late President Ho Chi Minh's 124th birthday were held in the city of St. Petersburg in Russia by the Vietnamese Embassy in Russia. Attending the events were Vietnamese representatives, municipal authorities, and Vietnamese citizens in St. Petersburg.
At the event, Mr. Igor Galinsky, Deputy Headmaster of St. Petersburg State University, stressed that President Ho was a prominent revolutionary, a national hero, and a great friend of Russia. Uncle Ho had a special affinity for St. Petersburg, as this was the first place he came to in Russia to seek ways to liberate his country. Deputy Director of the Ho Chi Minh National Institute, Nguyễn Tấn Giáp, summarized the activities of President Ho in Russia and stressed that the party, state, and people of Vietnam would always follow his teachings in consolidating and developing a mutual friendship with the Russian people. The Vietnamese in St. Petersburg also came here to express their respect and gratitude to President Ho. Art performances were organized by both Russian and Vietnamese students to praise President Ho Chi Minh's contributions, as well as the two countries in their long-lasting friendship.
Today, in the central province of Hà Tĩnh, police arrested 6 more people on charges of causing public disorder, destroying property, and stealing assets at the Hưng Nghiệp Limited Liability Company. So far, Hà Tĩnh police have arrested 80 people involved in the riot in Vũng Áng Economic Zone. They're also continuing investigations on those who incited the riot and damaged property. Also today, border guards in Hà Tĩnh province arrested 10 people for causing public disorder. After the recent incident in Bình Dương, the People's Committee of Ho Chi Minh City and the city's labor union have intensified communication campaigns in a bid to improve laborers' awareness about the government's policy on sea and island sovereignty. This move is intended to bring an end to activities that could damage the productivity of enterprises.
This is a meeting between workers and the trade union of Tân Trào Industrial Zone. During this meeting, workers are updated on the latest situation in the sea. They are also instructed that at this moment, it is vital that patriotic displays are non-violent and restricted to focusing on production.
With the latest updates on the situation, workers will be made aware of the actual problems and not be distracted by rumors. When they feel secure, they can focus on being productive and can therefore earn a living for their own family. We only protest against foreign leaders and their unreasonable policies towards Vietnam. Foreign businessmen come here and bring us jobs and income, so we have no reason to damage the business. When we come to work, we earn a living for our family and bring prosperity to the country. Businesses also pay tax if they can earn a profit, so that's how we contribute to our homeland.
After the incident during which extremists triggered social disorder and the vandalism of investors' assets in Bình Dương, the trade union Ho Chi Minh City organized training courses for its members to build unity and raise awareness about government policy on sea and island sovereignty.
Activities like this will calm the workers down so they can focus on production and avoid protest. Now they understand that such activities go against the government's policy and damage the investment environment.
Production has now resumed in all 26 industrial and processing zones in Ho Chi Minh City. In many factories, 100% of workers are back to work. Patriotism is important, but how to show it without damaging the national image and investment environment is critical as well.
Exotic Vietnam is an intriguing blend of many charms. This land is where all manner of stunning landscapes await like a visual feast, rivaled only by the beauty of its people and their abundantly rich tradition and culture. Here is where you can relive the past in richest color or live it up in the bright lights of the big city. With so much more to offer, Vietnam is simply unforgettable.
You're back here on VTV News. Now, Vietnam enjoyed a $2.05 billion trade surplus in the first 4 months of the year. This is according to the General Statistics Office of Vietnam in an announcement on May 15th. Now, overall exports in the first 4 months climbed up 19% year on year to $46 billion, while imports jumped up 12% to $44 billion. The trade surplus was nearly 3 times the figure of $683 million previously estimated by the Vietnam Ministry of Planning and Investment. The country's exports in April alone climbed to $13 billion, while imports tallied $12 billion. Foreign direct investment, or FDI, enterprises continue to account for the high growth in exports. They grossed $29 billion in revenue in the first 4 months, which is a year-on-year increase of 23%, comprising more than 62% of the country's total exports. On Saturday, Ho Chi Minh City welcomed the largest ship ever to dock at the Saigon Center Terminal Port through the newly dredged Suai Rap estuary. Now, this confirms Ho Chi Minh City's ability, it is reported, to receive large ships as well as its potential for economic development based on waterway advantages. Ships traveling through the Suai Rap Channel have now had their route reduced by about 2 hours and a distance of roughly 20 to 30 kilometers. Back in April of 2012, the Ho Chi Minh City People's Committee approved the second phase of the Suai Rap River Dredging Project, which cost some 2.7 trillion Vietnam dong. After 14 months, about 12 million cubic meters of mud had been dredged from a 54-kilometer stretch of the channel. The third phase of the project will be implemented soon in order to enable Ho Chi Minh City to receive ships with a loading capacity of up to 70,000 tons. In other news, now the project for the West Yên Tư Spiritual Cultural Zone kicked off this Saturday in Bắc Giang Province. Our following report will bring you the images from the groundbreaking ceremony for the Hat Pagoda, which is the first construction of this project, located in Sơn Đốc District.
The ceremony was attended by officials from the Vietnam Fatherland Front, the party's Central Committee, many related agencies, and a huge number of Buddhist followers. Giving a speech at the ceremony, the Venerable Thích Thanh Nhiễu stated that the West Yên Tư Spiritual Culture Zone project will help renovate Bắc Giang's system of culture and historical sites and connect it with the system in Quảng Ninh province.
The Buddhist Sangha of Vietnam praises the efforts of Bắc Giang province in relation to this project and its contribution to the preservation of Buddhist values and the Trúc Lâm Zen sect, as well as opening a new direction for spiritual tourism in the region.
The project is being constructed over a total area of 13.8 hectares, which will be divided into 4 pagoda groups that are connected with the famous site on Yên Tư Mountain by a system of transport links. Built on mountainous terrain, the project is being funded by government bonds and donations from Buddhists across the country.
On behalf of all the contractors for this project, I'd like to say that we are very proud to contribute our best efforts towards building this system of spiritual sites. We will do our best to make the construction run smoothly.
The project has a total investment fund of 305 billion Vietnam dong, and completion is scheduled for 2025. Upon completion, the project is expected to improve the life of local people and turn the provincial 293 route into the spiritual road, offering a path of pilgrimage for Buddhist followers.
Now today, May 18th, has been declared the National Science and Technology Day. The ceremony to announce this took place in Hanoi on Saturday morning. From now on, this day will be an occasion for scientists nationwide to showcase their scientific achievements and their progress in high-tech development. In a speech at the event, Prime Minister Nguyễn Tân Dũng suggested that there should be a boost in science and technology research. He said that this would serve economic restructuring in the nation and increase efficiency in the high-tech intensive economic sector. Also, he asked scientists to build up development programs for maths, physics, and marine science through private sector and state budget funding. Back on May 18th, the very same day today, back in 1963, the late President Ho Chi Minh at the First National Congress of Vietnam's Association of Science and Engineering Promotion stated that science and engineering are essential to the country's development. Moving now on to other news, the Vietnam National University, or VNU, based in Hanoi, remains the country's top university, based on the latest rankings released by QS, or Quacquarelli Simond. VNU Hanoi ranked higher than two other Vietnamese schools in the list of Asia's best universities. The country's premier university, VNU Hanoi, made the group ranking from 161 to 170 in Asia, while VNU, based in Ho Chi Minh City, was ranked in the group from 191 to 200. Meanwhile, the University of Science and Technology here in Hanoi also made the top 300 in the group from 251 to 300. Now, the leaderboard of top-performing universities in Asia was rated based on 9 indicators, including the reputation of academia as well as employer, the faculty-student ratio, the proportion of international students, inbound exchange students, as well as outbound exchange students. Wrapping up our bulletin now, let's have a look at your updated weather forecasts. And that wraps up this edition of VTV News. For more details on our bulletins, do log on to vtv4.vn. Thank you for tuning in, and goodbye for now.